About UNC field hockey. UNC field hockey, baby. You got to love it. Going for their 11th natty on Sunday. They beat UVA today 2-0. And Erin Matson is in her first season after playing for UNC, gets the head coaching job. They're playing Sunday at home at the Karen Shelton Stadium. I think that's what the stadium is called, on campus. 2-0. They're going to go against Northwestern, who beat Duke. So it is UNC, Northwestern, Sunday 1:30. Riley Heck and Sitka Bruning scored for the Tar Heels, the Lady Tar Heels today in their win. And yeah, I mean, just crazy. I mean, think about it. I mean, that's 11th, 22nd national championship final and 11th championship game. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Now, I know that Josh stayed up last night. Good evening, Josh. We stayed up. Oh, and Rhonda has joined us. Rhonda Never is here. Rhonda's here live with us today, the bodybuilding extraordinaire. She looks great, and I look like complete shit, but that's okay. You know what? It has been an ugly, ugly, ugly month and a half, and I'm going to go get some ice cream or some cookies tonight because I just feel like I'm on edge all the time. Now, I did watch the Monsters show that's on Disney. I liked it a lot. Someone said they didn't like the CGI. I like the CGI. That fight last night between Shakur Stevenson and Edwin, what was his name? Edwin Edwin De Los Santos, where he got the WBC lightweight title, 116-112 on two judges, 115-113. Now, Shakur only seemed like he was throwing his right jab, was using left hand. He said he wasn't hurt, but something was wrong. They combined. I read my numbers from the punch stat totals. They combined for a total of 64 landed punches in the fight. It says they had 105. It was slow as shit. A fan was saying, I want a refund. It went on forever. 12 rounds, was torturous, boring. I mean, listen, this was for what was this for? This was for the WBC lightweight title. Lightweights are lightweights. They should be throwing nonstop punches. And I know Shakur doesn't like getting punched, and he does the defensive game that Floyd Mayweather did. And I've thought that a lot of times when I saw Floyd Mayweather fight, it was fucking boring. Really boring. I don't want to watch. Great. I'm glad you're defensive. You don't like to get hit. But inactivity is not a guy I want to. I don't want to pay. I would not pay money to watch Shakur Stevenson in the future. I mean, I'm glad it was an ESPN, but I would not pay money to watch him because I just feel like a lot of his fights, it was not. It was terrible. Thank you, Rhonda. I don't look good. I don't. 208 today, baby. 208. Actually, it was 210 at one point. But Carol always says, take a dump, you lose 3 pounds. I lost 3 pounds. But I was productive today. Michigan is in Aruba. I went through all my drawers, shirts. I decided let's. I can't even open and close my drawers. So I'm like, I got to fix this. Went through all my drawers. Went through I have all these graphic novels Dr. J had given me, and some of them I'm not going to read. So I'll give some to James, see if he wants them. Went through books. Went through files. Made a new appointment with this gastro doctor because I got this SIBO thing, which I just don't process food, man. I have indigestion all the time. And so maybe a pizza tonight would be the best thing to eat because that's what and I might have had even more indigestion from last night's fight. I mean, it just was terrible. It was shit. And I'm just like, dude, I'm glad you can avoid getting hit. But good God, that was disgrace. He apologized afterwards. I mean, he won the fight. He's won in 3 weight classes. I'm great. And he can't get hit and he frustrates the other opponent. But something had to be wrong with the hand because he was inactive as hell. It was boring to watch. It was torture. It was torture. Yeah, that was rough. Yeah, 105 total punches landed. I mean, I had less. I went through everything. I have 64. Shakur was 32 out of 130, and I have De Los Santos 32 out of 80 in a 12-round fight. I mean, that's nothing. It was embarrassing. It was snoozeville. And how about this? Luis Diaz, his dad had been kidnapped in Colombia. He scores 2 goals last night against Brazil in a World Cup qualifying match. Your dad gets out, and he was there to watch, and his dad was like almost fainting. Can you imagine that? Your dad is kidnapped. You get your father back. He comes to you play, and you score 2 goals in that game. It's like, wow. I thought that was very impressive. And Ken Squire, rest in peace, Nascar. He was a great voice. He always was like professional and had that beautiful voice. It was just fantastic. You see Vegas last night? So they had pothole covers. No, not potholes. Not potholes. what would you call it? It would, like for the ground, the covers that cover the ground. Yeah, yeah. I agree. Josh, he is a great fighter, but that was freaking boring. Yeah, it was like watching paint dry. But they have not pothole covers, but they have covers. People have to go underground, and I'm blanking on the word I want to use. Well, they had to check everything before. Well, you can't judge when a car is going over 200 miles an hour that things are going to come shift, and it hit bottom of cars. They stopped the first round of qualifying after 8 minutes. Yeah, yeah, not a sewer cover, like a pothole cover. Like a cover people go down on the street, in the middle of the street. You have those things you got to pick up the crowbar. I can't manhole. They had manhole covers, and they had to be, make sure they were closed and covered. And they went through the whole thing, and they did that. But you can't judge by, it might be covered, but a car going 200 miles an hour just brings them up. So 8 minutes they got in, and then they can't. It delays all the other rounds of qualifying, and it didn't even start last night. I think the first round started like 12:30, and the next one started at 3 a.m. And then because that started later, you've got to wait 18 hours for the next round of qualifying. So everything's going to be pushed back. So who knows what time the race is going to be Saturday night. These are supposed to start 10 p.m. Pacific time. But yeah, my cousin Teddy said, how about that? The Formula One people paid a lot of money to watch it. Things canceled. And then it went on so late at night. No one's staying there. I mean, even West Coast, it's late at night. I mean, they paid a shitload of money for this stuff. I mean, visually it looks awesome. I mean, it looks amazing. So, I mean, you got that, but I mean, it was a mess. What a crazy. And I'm doing the podcast last night, watching the football game, and Burrow hits his hand, can't even grip it. It ends up that now they said he tore ligaments in his wrist, done for the season, which means the new quarterback for the Bengals quarterback fortunes now reside under, what the hell's his name? Jake Browning, who started 4 years at Washington, at UW. So Burrow, I think he left, what was it, 21-10 maybe? They ended up losing 34-20. And Jamar Chase had a touchdown in the last two catches for 12 yards. And now they're 8-3. They get 10 days off the Ravens until they go to play the Chargers. The Bengals 5-5, 1-5 in the conference, 0-3 in the AFC North, 8-3. The Ravens, who had come in having blown 3 fourth quarter leads this season, which was the most. I mean, crazy. Harbaugh is now 8-0 on Thursday Night Football. And the Bengals have now lost 15 straight road primetime games. They seem to always be on the road. And they've lost 24 of the 25. Al Michaels said it. And then I saw it all over social media. But I was like, wow, that is crazy. 15 in a row. And the Bengals went Super Bowl odds from 12-1 to 60-1. And they had 9.5% of the bets, second most on them to win the Super Bowl. That's not happening this year. You had OBJ 4 for 121, first 100-yard game since 2021, and his most receiving yards since 2019 when he had $160. And then he fell on his last catch on the shoulder, and then he had the shirt off. And he's going to be out for weeks. But I knew right when he had that catch, he was in trouble. And Mark Andrews broke his ankle. They said on a hip tackle, like a hip flip, whatever. And I'm like, it's football, it's tackling. But they're saying it with the way they tackled him, that they threw him down. That's the way the leg gets caught underneath. What are you supposed to do when you're playing a football game? You're trying to tackle the guy. You're trying to bring him down. You're trying to, and Mark Andrews is a big dude. That is a very large man. And they're saying, maybe they're looking into that tackle. Listen, I did see the Pittsburgh game last night. I saw the highlight. Pittsburgh lost. Pittsburgh beat BC. BC bad loss. But one of the BC cornerbacks, like lifted, like a projectile, jumped up, and thank God he kind of hit the side of his neck. But it could have been, and the guy got up. I guess it could have been. They called a target and they threw him out of the game. He didn't really hit him in the helmet. If he would, it would have been. But he actually just, like as a projectile, just jumped up. I never saw a guy do that. Jump in the air, like he jumped toward the guy, like the way he did it, like at an angle. I was like, what the hell is going on here? I saw that. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. So Andrew's out for the season. Burrow's out for the season. And Bengals season, listen, Jake Browning looked good that first series, and then it went down. And, I had Tyler Boyd, and, my saving grace is that I have Mr. Tucker as my kicker for the Bengals. He had 11 points, but I'm playing against Harris, so we'll see how that goes going forward. But, yeah, Bill Belichick, they're saying the Commanders, the Chargers. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. and RG3 has offered his services to the Browns, dude, it has been a long minute. 2020 last time you played, and when you last played, you were, I don't know, the player that you were in college, that magnetic player is long gone. And I mean, they're bringing in Joe Flacco today. He's a practice squad player. I mean, Joe Flacco, hey, listen, he did play well against Cleveland in that when they had that come from behind overtime win last year, but he's good for like a game here and there. And he's still got an arm, but he can't move in the pocket. So we're going to see what happens. But no, RG3, your days are done. Well, long done. So Ravens are 8-3, Browns and Pittsburgh are 6-3. And they actually, don't they play this? I think they play this week. Browns and Pittsburgh play this week, right? Isn't that the game? Browns go to Pittsburgh. I'm pretty sure or is it 10? No. Browns? They're playing this week, right? Isn't the Browns and Pittsburgh playing this week? Pretty sure that game is this weekend. And, I mean, teams are going to knock each other out. Let me see. Rhonda said shit went out of service. Are you back? Rhonda was here? Come back. You're going on the way to get dinner. He said, I'm listening still, Josh. You back? I'm like, you back? You back? So I was looking to see about Pittsburgh. And, that's not what I was looking for. The Steelers. I think the Steelers playing. Yeah, they host. No, they're at the Browns. I'm sorry, they're at the Browns this week. So we'll see what happens in that game. They're at the Browns. But they're playing this week. That's what I thought. Don't doubt yourself. I want to know what Josh is getting, what he's getting for dinner. Maybe a little Chinese. I'd like a little Chinese right now. And Jim Harbaugh is linked to the Bears and Raiders. That makes sense to me. That makes sense. I could see him. But and they fired one of their linebacker coaches who might have got in the way of the NCAA investigation, might have been involved in that. Yeah, Deshaun Watson, and in the same week. So Deshaun Watson and Joe Burrow in the same week. Isn't that crazy? Both guys lose their quarterbacks. Now, I want to see what Dorian Thompson, let's get his name wrong, that the rookie out of UCLA does for the Browns, because he did not play well his last game. But one of the preseason games, he looked phenomenal. I thought he should have started over Mexican and a chimichanga. Oh, yeah. I never was a chimichanga fan, dude. Yeah, I don't think I've ever been like, oh, man, you know what? When I go for Mexican, I'm a Blanco, so I always go for the chips and guac. And I used to like fajitas a lot, but I can't eat it and stuff. That stuff kills me. But I was thinking a little bit spare ribs tonight, a little bit of little Chinese food tonight. That's what I was thinking. I don't think I'm going to do it. Maybe I will. I don't know. And Gus Edwards, how about this? 9 touchdowns this year, 9 the last 2 years combined. He's been phenomenal. And Lamar Jackson, 318 total yards, 2 touchdowns, over 250 passing, over 50 rushing. He is now tied with Randall Cunningham and Michael Vick for 5th place. Cam Newton is number 1. Cam Newton's number 1 in 250 plus rushing and 50 plus yards, 250 yards passing, and 50 plus yards rushing the same game. 13, and I got the number here. I'll look for it. But how about that? He's 5th place with Cunningham and Vick. It's unbelievable. Steak chimichanga. But the steak chimichanga has cheese in it, right? Chimichangas always have cheese. I do like cheese. You know, when I was in grad school, Shoop, who's on his honeymoon right now, we used to get the chicken fajita pizza in grad school at Brothers, right on Franklin Street in Chapel Hill, and it was phenomenal every time. And Brothers isn't there anymore. That's how it was. It was must eat every time. Shoop and I, we were addicted. I was addicted to it. I was addicted to that pizza. I could go for right now. So Burrow was 11 for 17, 101 yards, a touchdown. Jake Browning finished 8 for 14, 60 yards. He really didn't do anything. And, I saw it. And Bengals, listen to this. So FanDuel TV, who does more prep work, Eli or Peyton? And Eli has to listen to Peyton's 45-minute voice memos. That has to be. It's unbelievably good. Okay, well, I trust you, my man. So think about who's been done for the year now. Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, he's not coming back. He says he is. Kirk Cousins, who wants to stay with the Vikings, doesn't want to talk deal right now, but he would like to finish his career as a Viking. Deshaun Watson, Anthony Richardson for the Colts, and Daniel Jones. Thank you, Cameron Wolf, for those. I forget all those guys. That is crazy. So, as I said, Lamar is tied with Randall Cunningham and Vick with 9th game with 250 plus passing, 50 plus rushing. I mean, that's crazy. 9. Cam is done had 13 of those games in his career. Josh Allen 11, and Steve Young 10. And also FAN, what Evan Roberts was on with Tiki, and Evan Roberts said, if the Giants have the number 1 pick, would you trade it? Since Dable and Joe Shane have a connection to Buffalo, would you trade the number 1 pick in the draft for Josh Allen? So I wonder about that. Yeah, the more cheese, the better. Yeah, that's what Michigan says. The more cheese, the better. Would you trade Josh Allen for the number 1 pick of the for the Giants? Number 1 pick for Josh Allen. I mean, you have an established player. You don't know if Caleb Williams and Drake May are going to be the real deal, and you have a commodity there. Dable knows Josh Allen. They have a history together. It kind of like maybe Buffalo's going to cut the cord and start all over again. And I think McDermott's gone at the end of the year. I really do. I unless they go on a hell of a run, but I think there's changes needed there. I just don't think it's working. And I feel like they should have won it 2 years ago. And I do agree that they score a touchdown and let the Chiefs go down and score again. That goal kickoff was stupid, where they should have put in the ground, dribbled it, so they had to run the ball. They just didn't see that whole time management thing. I remember. And then last year got blown out by the Bengals at home, and you're like, I don't know if this team's coming back. And now they get the Jets on Sunday, and Garrett Wilson is dealing with an elbow injury, so we're going to have to see how that goes. But yeah, it's going to be very interesting going forward. I'm curious. And Bobby Stroop talked about Burrow's injury, ligament, elbow or wrist. They're saying, could there be nerve damage? He doesn't think it's only wrist. They're saying wrist. Who knows? I mean, we're going to see. He could be out for a while. Chase Daniels said backups, you have to pay them. You have to have a great backup. Jake Browning show now. We'll see what happens. Well, they're saying likely surgery for Burrow. We're going to see what happens. I mean, yeah, it didn't look good. I mean, he tried to grip the ball on the sidelines, and his hand was all swollen. They talked about he was coming in with a hand problem, and he went from a great Thursday night game, which went into the shitter. Tonight you got Colorado, Washington State at 10 o'clock. I want to watch some of that. You got UNC at Clemson. UNC's got to win. They have to win. That's a game they're supposed to win. They're the better team. Clemson is not a good team this year. UNC, I know it's on the road, but you got to have your best game of the season tomorrow. I just don't have faith in them. I don't. How about this? 11 teams started multiple quarterbacks this season. 4 teams: Cleveland, the Raiders, Minnesota, and Arizona. 3 quarterbacks. 3 quarterbacks already. We're only week 11. We're going to week 11. 37.5% of the teams having to start multiple quarterbacks. Thank you, Bill. But almost 40% of the teams have had to start. Yeah, think about that. If that's 40 over almost 50, you're talking. That's 40% of 32. I'm terrible at math. So if it's 8, well, it's 16, like 12 teams. That's a lot of teams. It's a lot of teams that are going to start multiple. And 4 teams have started 3. And how about Justin Madubuike? He round 3 pick 2020, 71st pick out of Texas A&M. 11 games this year, 9.5 sacks for the Ravens, 27 solo tackles, 10 tackles for loss, 18 quarterback hits. Brad Spielberger said he has more pressures, 36, and sacks than any other season. Also, he's been winning 12.3 pass rush win rate and 11.6 pressure rate. And he said he is going to make a lot of money. Now, can he keep it going? You're thinking, okay, he did it one season, going to keep doing it, but he is playing for a bigger contract come this off season. Yeah, so Joe Burrow finished 5-5 this season, 2309 passing yards, 15 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 66.8. I dropped him a while ago. I did fantasy after he just started off so crappy. I can't do this. I just can't. I can't do it. I can't do it, Captain. I can't do it. And Fitz Magic last night post game, he brought up that Festivus, and nobody on the set knew what he was talking about, which hurts. How do you not know about Festivus? How? Yeah. Bengals 6-0 home primetime games under Taylor as their head coach. Their last primetime road win was December 13, 2012 with the Eagles on Thursday Night Football. Burrow's now 3-4 against the Ravens. The Lamar's 8-1 as a starter now for Cincinnati. Yeah, the hip drop tackle. It's tackle football. Ravens 8-3. As I said, they're going to play the Chargers. And 7-game. Oh, also we have this Grey Cup this Sunday. The Montreal Alouettes come on a 7-game win streak. Haven't won a championship in 13 years. Going against the Winnipeg Blue Bombers on Sunday. So Grey Cup, 110th Grey Cup on Sunday. Lamar at 121.3 passer rating. Yeah. Ravens swept Cincinnati first time since 2020, and they're 5-1 their last 6, and they should have beaten Cleveland last week. And Lamar is 15-2 when throwing 2+ touchdowns with 0 interceptions. Thank you, StatMuse. Tannehill's going to back up Will Levis against at the Jags on Sunday, and Darren Bland allowed the lowest passer rating among quarterbacks in the entire NFL. A rating of 34 right now. Deron Bland is having a season. Yes, he is. Bunch of pick 6 returns. I know they lost Diggs, but he's been playing well. Yeah, Garrett Wilson, elbow. Saquon, they're talking maybe to the Bills. They asked about loyalty. He goes, man, loyalty means nothing. Business, and today it's all business. It's business. Doesn't try to focus on it, but telling where, he says there's no loyalty, and he's going to do what's best for him. I'll tell you, it'd be interesting. He goes to another team. If they could do with him, with CMC, if he has a good team around him, good God. Could you imagine him going to KC? Like, KC's like, you know what? We're going to get him. Because I think he's still under team control next season. Imagine KC, Mahomes, and having Barkley out of the backfield. Oh, holy shit. If you had a good quarterback, a great team, and, with a coach who knows what he's doing, good God. I mean, that would be, wow. Wow, that'd be crazy. Yeah, and Kari Johnson is the one that did the leaped up, which crazy. But still, what were you thinking, dude? So they lost 24-16 to Pitt. They're 3-8. Pitt improved to 3-8, and BC fell to 6-5. So UNC, Louisville, Missouri, and Penn State all are still in play for New Year's bowl game. Penn State, to me, I would love Rutgers. Nothing better than Rutgers to win on the road. Missouri hosts the Gators. Louisville is at the U, which is not the U anymore. UNC is at Clemson. And Paul Feinbaum refuses to recognize Michigan as national champs. Go fuck yourself. You know what, you arrogant prick. So arrogant. Right? This is an arrogant thing that I'm not going to. Everybody's saying how Michigan's arrogant, this arrogance about Michigan. Dude, everybody steals signs. Everybody. Come on, man. Everybody. You don't think anybody's trying to get an edge? Maybe they didn't go to the stadium, but every team is trying to steal. Every single team. Yeah, Michigan linebacker coach Chris Partridge might have interfered with the NCAA investigation allegedly, but hasn't determined if he was directly involved with Connor Stallions. How about, and then you got hockey. The Ducks last year, through 17 games, allowed 652 shots on goal for the season. Most shots on goal of any team in the database. Allowed the most shots on goal of any team in database through 17 games. And San Jose allowed one more shot than they did last year. And through 17 games this year, last year they allowed the most shots on goal. They were terrible. And the Sharks this year are 3-13 and 1 overtime loss. They're terrible. Golden Knights 6-5 over Montreal, 13-3 Canadians fell to 7-8-2. And did you see Tim Stützle for the Senators? Hand-eye coordination. He got it like a baseball swing. Whack! They're playing over in Sweden. I was watching, like, holy shit, man. It was like he was like in midair, just snapped. I was like, wow. I'm amazed hockey. Listen, first of all, staying on your feet, skating, and then shooting, and all that. Yeah, I do not have that skill level at all. Not even close. Oh, and they're talking about the winter series. Columbus is going to play at the Dumps football stadium, which I think is good. It's a big stadium, good place. Thank you, N.A. Bailey. How about Anton Jameson? Over 20,000 points, 8,000 rebounds, 1,800 assists, over 1,200 three-pointers made, over 1,000 steals, 40-54 blocks, regular postseason. The only guys who put up those numbers, and they'll have better numbers than him, was LeBron, Dirk, Paul Pierce, who matched or exceeded all 6. So think about that. In points, rebounds, assists, three-pointers, steals, blocks, I saw him play in college. He was amazing. He's the best player in college. He was phenomenal. Never became superstar pro, but he was solid, real solid. But in college, other world. I can't believe him and Carter didn't win a national championship. Still blows my mind. Love the Golden State. I've lost 5 in a row. They got blown out by OKC. They're 1-5 at home after going 33-8 last year at the Chase Center. Klay Thompson, 1 for 10, 1 for 6 from 3, 5 points. No, not getting the job done. And Miami, 7 in a row, longest streak in the last 5 years. And Bridges and Lonnie Walker, who is making $2.3 million, is averaging over 15 points a game. 51 from the field, 46 from 3, 77 from the line. He's making $2.3 million this year. And 15.7 points per game. Talk about a pickup right there. They lost last night to the Nets. Nets lost 122-115. They're 6-6. The Heat are 8-4, 7 straight. Bradley Beal will be reevaluated in 3 weeks. 3 weeks. The big 3 for the Suns, and it's not happening anytime soon. Remember that whole thing, the guy with the rant for the Valley Sports rant, the guy from Dallas that I talked about earlier in the week? Well, Harden says, doesn't know me. He said he'd be fucked up if you went after the guy, but can't. They don't know anything. Nope. I said, no, they don't know anything about you. Just like the fans in Houston don't know anything about you. Just like the fans in Brooklyn don't know anything about you. And just like the fans in Philly don't know anything about you. You're a really good guy. You're a character guy. I don't know. Maybe you are a super nice guy, but on the court, which says a lot of, listen, what you do in the court. I know they say, oh, it's not the same person. And I know you got to make the money and you're not happy, but once maybe, twice, you can't every time. And he'll complain. He'll complain about the Clippers. When things don't work out, he'll start pissing, complaining this year, and we'll see what happens going forward. But so that was like, and LaMelo has to cover a tattoo on below his left ear, LF, which is his middle name, and his clothing brand. He can't show any logos. So NBA is all about can't have the logos, guys. Can't have those logos. You can't have them. Hey, you see, Poland Springs, great water, so delicious. Yeah, Poland Springs. I don't have any sponsors, but sponsor me. Maybe I should get a tattoo on me. What would I get? Well, Puppet was my nickname. What would I have on me? Maybe Swedish Fish. I do like Swedish Fish. I don't know if I want the tattoo. If they're tattoos I can get rid of, then yeah, I would do it. But no, I wouldn't. But hey, I thought that was kind of interesting. His middle name is on his neck, and that's also what he sponsors. Caitlin Clark, they lost 65-58 yesterday. The K-State unranked. Now, every team in the preseason AP top 5, LSU, UConn, Iowa, and Utah, UCLA barely had to come back in from behind today and beat Princeton. 4 of the 5 preseason top 5 have all lost within the first 2 weeks. And Caitlin Clark, 9 for 32, 2 for 16. And someone said, well, you can't ever take that many shots if you only scored 58 points. First time she's ever in 103 career games, she scored under I don't have the power. I know I'm late. What? I just can't do it, Captain? Well, I can't do it, Captain. I don't have the power. What's that from? What's that from? Is that from Star Trek? No, I said Festivus. Festivus from Seinfeld. I don't know. What are you talking about, Josh? You look crazy there. But first time in 103 games, she's been held under 60 points. And they ended up losing 65-50, the first loss of the season. Oh, from Ace Ventura. But I wasn't talking about Ace Ventura. What were you talking about? Am I missing something? What am I missing? Am I being punked? Is Ashton Kutcher here? Am I being punked? I feel like I'm being punked. That was also what remember that in the movie? He goes, am I being punked? The Other Guys with Will Ferrell and Marky Mark is one of the funniest goddamn movies I've ever seen. If you've never seen it, that you should see. And the one with The Rock and Kevin Hart, where Rock plays a CIA agent. Isn't that what it's called? It's called CIA. Rock goes, I don't like bullies. That movie there's so many funny parts in that movie. He wears the fanny pack. Oh my God. Hilarious. Yeah, I can't remember the name. I see it. I can't remember the name of the movie. Someone help me out here. And UConn 80-48 over number 20 Maryland. So they're 2-1. Maryland's 1-2. Paige Becker's 25, 5 rebounds, 6 steals. In her next game, she's going back to her home state of Minnesota to play at Williams Arena, which is a childhood dream of hers. So that's kind of cool. I saw that. I was like, that's really cool. UNC wraps up its homestand. They play UC Riverside tonight. Riverside's 1-2. They're 2-0. Then they go to the Battle for Atlantis. They play Northern Iowa Wednesday at noon. And Ozzie Fudd, knee injury on Tuesday. She's had a lot of knee problems. And she's going to miss some. I think she didn't play last night. She can miss some time. So, yeah, they're playing at Williams Arena in Minnesota on Sunday. Her childhood dream of hers. So congrats to her. Otani got his Cy Young. He got it there with his dog was there. Jake Bowers traded to Milwaukee for Jay Savina and Brian Sanchez. This past year, 202, 84 games, 12 home runs, 30 RBIs. Missed. You said, I just can't do it, Captain. No, I can't. I don't even remember doing it. You know what? If I did, then that's awesome. I don't remember what I can't do it, Captain. Wow, man, dude, I'm losing it. And they're talking about, this is from SNY's Danny Abriano, Christopher Morel for Pete Alonso. Christopher Morel might be 24 younger, 247, 26 home runs, 70 RBIs. You're telling me he's going to become the future Pete Alonso? You're joking, right? You guys are joking, right? I feel like I'm being. And you heard about the whole thing with Carissa Thompson, saying that sometimes she would make stuff up, and during her sideline reporting, and Josh really likes the sideline reporting. I mean, I was a fan of Pam Oliver. Lisa Salters had something to say. A lot of people brought up race, saying, if a black woman had said that, they'd be done. But Carissa Thompson's now on TNT, and sometimes she was in an interview, and what the hell was it? Erin Andrews said that sometimes she would make stuff up because she didn't want to throw the coach under the bus because the stuff he was talking about wasn't like factual. And he's going to clip it for me. All right, good. Dude, I believe you. You don't have to clip it for me. I believe you. I just don't remember, But Carissa Thompson, why would you say that? And Josh said me something interesting where the woman brought up more of a point where it's hard for women, the coaches, a woman in the breaking in with the men in football and doing the sideline stuff and getting information, and they don't want to talk to them. Like, you see, Saban is a lot better now in sideline reporting than it used to be. But it's not good optics at all. Lisa Salters was pissed. Jamel Hill was pissed. Pam Oliver was pissed. I mean, you take this job seriously, and to say something like that is just dumb. I mean, a lot of what Richard Deitch said, disgraceful. A lot of people came and just said, didn't have a lot of good things to say. I understand where what Josh sent me, what she was saying, how it's hard for women, and maybe we could have that conversation. But all people hear is that she said she made stuff up. Sometimes she didn't get anything, so she would just make stuff up. So they were bashing her yesterday. They said, "Oh yeah, Joe Burrow broke a fingernail, or he lost a finger, and Joe Mixon lost a toe or something." And I don't know why she felt the need to say that. There might have been I think it would have been better by saying that, hey, situations came up where they weren't giving me anything, and yeah, I mean, I don't know, just make stuff up. Maybe if change it in a way saying, that it's so hard to do this job, especially when you're not getting help from the people, the teams, the coaches, whatever, that I had to make stuff up. But I guess the way it came across is just like, I just made stuff up. And everyone, I don't want to throw somebody on the bus. And Erin Andrews, when Pam Oliver was pulled out, Erin Andrews went in. And I am not a fan of Erin Andrews. I feel like she was given a golden ticket, and now she just Dancing with the Stars. She did that for a while and everything, and not a fan. Yeah, it's terrible what happened to her. The guy with the peephole taking the video, that's disgusting. All that stuff is ridiculous. But I'm just saying, I feel like, and Pam Oliver was the real deal. Pam Oliver was the real. I almost want to find, maybe I could find that clip. Yeah, you know what? I'd have to. I can't do it because of the goddamn. Yeah, maybe I could find that clip and I could play it out loud. Oh yeah, maybe what? I can play it. Hold on a sec. Josh sent me something. Was it on Twitter or was it on here? He sent me. No, it wasn't here. Was it Josh? I thought Josh sent it to me. Maybe I took a. Yeah, let me see. Josh sent me something. I'm trying to find it. No, okay. Yeah, this is it. Oh, that's not it. That is not it. Nope. I sent me something really good. Was it? Damn it. I really would like to find. Yeah. I'm trying to find. I can't find it. Or maybe, maybe he sent it. Did he send it on here? Oh, yeah. Here it is. Rachel Bonetta. Oh, you know what?
Interviewing players, and then when it comes time,
here it is.
Being a sideline reporter is a really tough gig. You are prepping all week long. You're interviewing coaches, you're interviewing players, and then when it comes time to game day, you're really only getting like 2 to 3 minutes of airtime out of an entire broadcast. And when you're starting, you obviously don't really get a lot of opportunities. I really don't blame Carissa for making up something like, yeah, the coach says we got to be better on defense. I feel like a valuable conversation that we all could have had today is like, why aren't women in sports taken seriously? Why do coaches not want to talk to us when we go into halftime? Why can't they let us do our jobs? Why did somebody like Carissa have to make up a story instead of like being able to have a respectable conversation with the coach? We could have talked about that. But instead, all these sideline reporters have just dragged this woman through the mud, so much so that it's 5 o'clock on the West Coast, and her name is still trending on Twitter. I don't know why we had to do that. Feels kind of gross, like we missed the mark. Feel like we could have had a better conversation today.
Yeah, I like that. I was glad he sent that to me. Yeah, from Rachel Bonetta. So I wanted to reach out to her to see if because I thought she said. So when Josh sent me that, I was like, well, that's an intelligent conversation to have. It's a tough job, and they're dragging her through the mud, and they turn into a race thing and everything. I was like, yeah, I like what she said. So Josh came through with some good stuff. Now I saw this yesterday. By playing the victim, Michigan's response to cheating scandal reeks of entitlement. I don't think I agree with that. Yeah. So Jamison Williams. I saw this. I didn't even know what it was for a second. Though it doesn't exist on the current menu of McDonald's, Jamison Williams has the Oreo McFlurry double. It's an Oreo McFlurry atop his cheeseburger. He says it's a 10 out of 10. It was cool. It was good. I think you should really try it. It's called the Oreo McFlurry double. Oh, so he also topped his hamburger patties with an Oreo McFlurry, though. It hasn't always topped, he said. First thought of the idea a little minute ago with one of his brothers, but had a hard time finding a working McFlurry machine in the Detroit locations. Oh, my God. That just sounds disgusting. Yeah, I don't even know. Wow. He went viral for sharing a picture of flaming hot Cheetos laid with queso cheese sauce. It hasn't crossed his mind to combine the flaming hot Cheetos with the Oreo McFlurry double. I'm not going to do that one, he said. Wow, I got sick. I was like, oh, that sounds gross. That sounds like a lot of time spent in the toilet. A lot of time spent in the crapper with that stuff. I'm like, oh. And my cousin Teddy did get a kick. He said, he did say to me today, but he said something funny. He said, the Stevenson fight was as exciting as watching paint dry. Price of F1 tickets dropping as we speak. Best song for sex, he said, Come All Ye Faithful. Teddy with the good stuff today. Come all ye faithful. Oh, my God. I thought that was hilarious. I was like, dude, you cracked me up. You are hilarious. My cousin Teddy, the crazy, crazy man. So funny. Yeah. Jalen Hurts. Oh, so I picked up Jake Stoll. I thought maybe I'd play him this week because they said he's the tight end taking over for Goddard with the Eagles. I'm like, ugh. Undrafted out of Nebraska in 2021, 11 catches, $123 Monday night. I'm like, do I do it? Do I get rid of Jake Ferguson and go with this kid Stoll? Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if I should do that. And Chris Jones, per Fowler, will not franchise. The Chiefs won't franchise tag him. He wants over $30 million per year, which is a number they have balked at. So he's just playing. T. Higgins, Panthers could go after him. Devin Singletary, Gumbo was going to play him this week. I mean, he played great last week. Listen, AFC Offensive Player of the Week, 150 yards, 30 carries, touchdown. I don't know. I get nervous about that. I don't even think he's available in my league. I think I looked up. Jordan Love has looked better the last 2 games. He had 20 of 26, 228, a touchdown last week. 288, 2 touchdowns, 2 receptions. You know what? They're 3-6, 1-4 in game decided by 4 points or fewer. Yeah, Watson's caught only 14 of 33 targets this season. Wow, that's not good. Now they're going to take on the Chargers, the league worst, 291.2 passing yards allowed per game. Jalen Ramsey, this is from Barry Jackson, 29.9 passer rating when throwing in his coverage area. And, you know, he's just coming back. He said he's knocking off the rust, but good God, he's coming back. And the Patriots dynasty is getting an Apple TV 10-part. We need 10 parts of this shit? Ugh. The dynasty New England Patriots set to debut in February. Kill me. Yeah. I can't. So you got Colorado, Washington State tonight. Buffs are trying to end a 4-game losing streak. And he's lost some recruits because other coaches are saying that he's leaving at the end of the season. Well, I don't think he's going. Nebraska, Wisconsin. A Wisconsin win would mean Hawkeyes could lose both this week and next week and still go to Indy if Illinois loses Northwestern. But if Iowa wins, this doesn't matter, and they would have a Big Ten championship berth clinched. They're saying Washington or Oregon State, that's going to be the game. Because Washington has to play a tough Oregon State team who is – you've got DJ Uiagalelei, the transfer from Clemson. They've beaten Utah, UCLA, which, you know, lost to Arizona State last week, and Colorado, which started great and hasn't been that good. They've lost to Washington, Arizona by combined 6 points. Arizona's had is bowl eligible now, so that's it has one of the best offenses, 19th in total yards, 14th in points per game, and a defense that is 32nd in points allowed per game. It'll be tomorrow night on ABC, 7:30, toughest of the season. And the remaining schedule of other unbeaten teams means that we're all but assured to have at least 3 undefeated teams left heading to the conference championship weekend. And those 3 should head into the postseason with their playoff hopes intact. Winner of, the Ohio State, Michigan, at Michigan, which I think is going to help them playing at home, even though they're not going to have Harbaugh. And Harbaugh's in Maryland this weekend for the game. He just can't coach. And it looks like Florida State's going to get Louisville. Louisville, I think, is overrated. Georgia is going to go against Bama. But I think, I guess we're going to see what happens there. Yeah, I can't see Maryland giving them a tough. I think Tennessee is overrated, and they got blown out last week by Missouri. Yeah, I guess we're going to see what happens. Washington has not looked. I think Oregon's looked better since that loss since Washington beat Oregon. I think Oregon's looked better than Washington's had some very tough games. Washington was losing to Utah at the half and came back, and that was a tight game up until. I mean, if the guy didn't drop the ball, it would have been another story. SMU's at Memphis. Both teams 8-2. Wow. The Mustangs are averaging 40.5 a game. The Memphis is averaging 39.7. SMU is tied with Tulane and UTSA atop the AAC. You got UNLV at Air Force. Both teams are tied for first place in the Mountain West. Falcons lost 2 in a row, including losing to 4-7 Hawaii. UNLV, I'm rooting for UNLV. ODU is at Georgia Southern. Both teams in the Sun Belt. Yeah, I don't know why that's. I don't look at that. Louisville at Miami. Yeah. North Carolina. Yeah. The Tar Heels will shoot out an out there to Clemson that looks much better. Kansas State is at night playing at Kansas. The rivalry game. Kansas lost to Texas Tech at home. Yeah. And then Florida at Missouri. Missouri is playing really good football right now. Yeah, Colorado lost. He lost a recruit. Who's the guy he lost? Did it say anybody going to Texas A&M? He just lost 4-star 2025 wide receiver prospect Winston Watkins Jr. reopened his commitment after previously pledging to the Buffaloes. I don't know. So Stephen A. Smith campaigned for Sanders to become the head coach. Yeah, and he has ties to Texas. He played for the Cowboys. I guess we're going to see what happens. They're trying to get the win today. The Buffs are tied for last, the 1-6. And next year they go to the Big 12 with Arizona State, and Utah. The Devils lost last night. How about Layla Edwards became the first black woman to play for the USA national hockey team last Saturday, suiting up for the 5-2 win over Canada. Yeah. Miami's been winning. Foot Locker becomes NBA's official marketing partner. Danielle. How you doing, Danielle? Any sports you want to talk about? Well, let's talk. Love to hear from you. You want to talk about any sports? Bring it on. The night is young. It's Friday night. Right, yes. So OKC's bench last night, 50-plus points, 15-plus assists, 10-plus threes made, 0 turnovers. First time a bench has put up those numbers. In fact, no team starting unit has put up those numbers either. That was amazing. And number 2, national recruit Joyce Edwards going to South Carolina over LSU and Clemson this week. But she said she's going. She's now signed every top 35 in-state recruits in 2014, including Edwards, a South Carolina native. She goes, I never wanted to win as many national championships as possible, and don't really convince me she can get me to that level. And Raven Johnson spoke on the Final Four after their win yesterday. She said, as soon as we lost, we got all these hate comments. I got bashed from a viral video that went so viral. People don't know behind the scenes how I felt. I said this was revenge season, and I got something for everybody. Yeah, something for everybody. Yeah, crazy. Yeah, Brian Cashman is in. It's not, we said about his catcher, the depth of catcher. It's not a strong position in the game. It's not a deep position in the game. So, yeah, a lot of teams are knocking on our door about our catching depth. It's an area of strength for us. Trades are coming. I don't think they have any good catchers, so I'm not like really. And then the rules committee suggesting adjustments in batter timeouts, pitching changes, and mound visits. A 39-page document obtained by The Athletic. A restriction on pitchers circumventing the clock, a requirement that a pitcher warms up face at least one hitter, and a mandate that pitchers work exclusively from a stretch with runners on base. The clock will remain at 15 seconds between pitches with the bases empty. They said the risk of pitcher injury, that's what the player said, will increase of the reduced recovery time between pitches. They said there's no evidence to prove that. They said it wants to reduce the time between pitches with runners on base because it went up 7 minutes as the season went on. Also, batter timeouts. They know how to do that. They know how to play batters as the season went on, figured out a way to take timeouts and make the clock and use it to their advantage. So some pitchers don't like the idea of the league dictating their style of delivery. If they, that's another thing from that they all have to pitch from a. They all have to. Once full timeouts, the league said emerged. Hitters took advantage. Yeah, they dictating of how they have to pitch, which I thought was. Where did I see that? What changes, particularly introduction, and I saw that they want them to pitch from a. Yeah, they held the ball. They said that they held the ball, but also the way they pitching changes. No, they're trying to hold the runners on. There's different way the pitcher when they're pitching, and I'm not getting what I want to really say out, but the pitchers don't want to be told the way I'm trying to get the pitchers stance changes. Yeah. So they was trying to. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get. Pitching stance rules, in the MLB rules. Yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. Trying to use my words today. Yeah. So no, I don't want that. I want this. So yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out. That they want them to pitch from. Well, the shift we already did that. Pitch clock we already did that. Pickoff, no. For the bases. We're limited to more questions. Distance, fielder. No, what happens with pitch clock? That is not what I was looking for. But just the way the pitcher stands when they're. I need help from one of my baseball guys because I'm not explaining what I'm trying to say. But basically the pitchers don't think they're dictating their style of how they should deliver the ball. You can tell me how I want to throw. I have to be able to use any tactic to get a hitter out. Oh, and Omar has joined us. Hey, Omar, what's up, dude? Yeah, so they don't like being dictated how they should pitch the ball, their style of delivery. And I agree with that. I feel like, if it's a pitch clock, that's one thing. But you can't tell them how they should, what type of delivery they should do when they pitch. Yeah, I agree with that front. I totally agree with that front. Yeah, I think that's. I think it's I know why you have to speed up the game, but you just also can't change everything. I mean, it has to be a process. Oh, and so the Braves traded Michael Soraka, lefty. Now Soraka is the guy, a bunch of veteran utility for Aaron Bummer, who had a 3.58 FIP and a lot of missed bats, 78 strikeouts, but it's fielding independent pitching. It focuses solely on the events a pitcher has the most control over: strikeouts, walks, hit by pitchers, and home runs, and entirely removes results on balls hit into the field of play. If, for example, if a player surrendered a higher average on balls in play, his FIP will likely be lower than his ERA. Balls in play are not part of the FIP equation because the pitcher is believed to have limited control over their outcome. So they got rid of him. But Soraka, former top prospect, all-stars, a rookie, missed most of the last 3 years, twice torn Achilles, other injuries, 6.40 ERA in 6 starts last year. Then they sent him down. Then 3.41 in 17 starts in AAA. And Schuster was a former Braves first-round pick. It's amazing, all these guys. And Shoemake, who'll be 26, was a first-round draft pick, Braves in 2019. He was up for the shortstop of the year. Him and Vaughn Grissom, and it ends up Orlando Arcia went on to make the NL All-Star team. Yeah, so Grissom that's crazy. So I just saw that. I was like, wow. And the Rome Emperors now have a kid-friendly Penguins identity. All right, that's kind of cool, right? Omar, my man. Omar, you got to watch the Disney Monsters. I liked it, the first 2 episodes. Someone said the CGI was crap. I liked the storyline. I got into it. It goes back and forth over time. I liked it a lot. I watched 2 episodes. I was like, oh. And Kurt Russell and his son in it. Done. Kurt Russell could do anything. I mean, Snake Plissken, come on. And this is the first time 5 of the awards were unanimous. You had Rookie of the Year, MVP, and Cy Young of Cole. The previous high was 3 unanimous, and there's never been a unanimous Manager of the Year. United States beat Trinidad and Tobago. NWSL, I love this from Kristen Press on Ali Krieger winning the NWSL championship game in her final career match. Instead of being like, this is my victory tour, she says at the beginning of the season, I would have won this trophy. I've not won this trophy. She freaking manifested that. I thought that was funny. And Peloton. So Dana White demanded all Peloton bikes removed from his gyms after comedian Theo Von told him that Peloton demanded that a past episode of his podcast had to be removed. According to Von, Peloton was a sponsor of his show. Good for him. And he was told to take down an interview he posted with presidential candidate Robert Kennedy Jr. So Mike goes to slam the CEO of Peloton, Barry McCarthy. So Peloton, what do they sell? Fucking stationary bikes? White said during the podcast, Peloton sells stationary bikes, and they got a problem with Robert fucking Kennedy. Fuck you, Peloton. Who the fuck are you? Are you fucking kidding me? Fuck Peloton calling and bitching about Robert Kennedy. Let's see Barry McCarthy. Oh, fucking Barry McCarthy looks like that guy, 100%. He looks like a douchebag. When they called in Craig Brassari, the UFC's executive vice president of operations and productions, to tell him that when White then called in Craig Brassari to tell him that all Peloton bikes had to be removed from the gym. How about that? I thought that was pretty much telling me how it is. Wasn't happy about that. Wasn't happy at all. Yeah. Oh, and I watched the Treasures of Foggy Mountain from the breakout SNL trio. Yeah. It had funny moments. It wasn't that good. It was okay. Marcus Smart foot sprain expected to return within 3 to 5 weeks. Yeah, I watched that. Goosebumps is set up for season 2. But yeah, so yeah. All right. Let me get to some trivia questions. I don't think I missed any. Well, we got tonight. We have football. There's some UFC. You have some UFC this weekend. Oh, Knicks are playing the Wizards right now. They're up 13-4. Let me see who else is playing today. North Carolina, Clemson tomorrow. UNC's playing at 8 on the ACC network against UC Riverside. Rangers, Devils tomorrow. Rangers haven't played since Monday. Rangers are 11-2-1. Devils are 8-6-1 with no Jack Hughes. Maple Leafs beat the Red Wings. Nylander in Sweden scored the 11th goal in front of his grandmother. Congrats to him. Tavares scored. Tavares had 2 assists. Nothing for Austin Matthews, 9-5-2. Detroit fell to 8-6-3. All right, well, hey, we got college football tonight, Colorado State, Washington. And I'm trying to get all the, it's only top 25. Yeah, Tulane's at Florida Atlantic. So, yeah, some football tomorrow. Excited about that. And yeah, so let me get to some trivia questions. Last show's trivia question was, all right, let's get to that one. What's going on here? Last show's trivia question was, which team has the most Cy Young winners? Dodgers. Pitchers from LA's NL team has won 12 times, 5 more than any other team. Don Newcomb, Don Drysdale in 62, Sandy Koufax 63, 65, 66, Mike Marshall 74, Fernando Valenzuela and Fernando Mania 81, Oro Hershiser 88, Eric Gagne 2003, and Clayton Kershaw 2011, 13, and 14. The Braves, Phillies, Red Sox, and Mets are tied for second with 7. Garrett Cole was the 6th Yankee to win the award, and Blake Snell was the 5th Padre. 12 Dodgers. And today's trivia question: on November 16th, 1996, Washington running back Corey Dillon set an NCAA record for rushing yards in a quarter. How many yards did he rack up in the opening quarter in their win over San Jose State? So Corey Dillon set a record for rushing yards in a quarter. And I was like, holy shit, that was a quarter. Some guys don't do that for a whole season. So I want to thank Josh. Great stuff today. Rhonda, Danielle, didn't really talk today. Omar, Teddy, thank you today. Michigan gave me some good stuff. Talked to my mom. I'm glad I did some cleanups today. Yeah, productive day. I feel like I cleaned shit out of my life. So I hope everybody has a good night tonight. I love to Michigan, my mom, Mrs. S, Carol and Carol, Fallon tomorrow. Come wish you a great workout yesterday. Yeah, great day. Harris, good talking to Bill. Had a good conversation with him today. Invited me for Thanksgiving. But just me and my mom. And I feel like, yeah, there's times you want to leave people home. Nah, I feel like it's important. And you know, and I have my TV. My mom knows I'm going to watch football all day. But it's okay. So I'm sending her love to everybody. Have a great day. Peace out. And go Tar Heels tomorrow. I'll probably do a show tomorrow. I've done a show every day this week. Michigan's away. Why not? I do one every day. And yeah, have a good one, everybody. Peace out. Adios. Go Heels.